Hey everybody, welcome back to Glasgow. It's been a while since I've been in here, so I thought it was about time we did an update on my last video on the 5G situation. So I'm going to have another wander around the city centre with my acoustimeter, and we'll see how things have developed since the last video, which was in September 2019, and it's now July 2021. And of course a lot has happened since then. We've had the whole COVID lockdowns, etc. And I'm not going to go into the conjectured links between COVID and 5G, which I'm sure you're well aware of that, but this is not the video to be exploring those things. I'm just going to compare the measurements from the last time and we'll see how things have changed. And I can see right in front of me here there's certainly a very obvious change. Well, let me just turn the camera around and we'll have a look at that. So here's Dundasvale Court, which you may remember at the end of the last video. I'm actually doing this in reverse because I'm walking into town today. And you can see instead of the macrocell transmitters on the sides here, we've got one macrocell and one small cell, and that is your basic 5G transmitters. So there's now 4 of them on each side of the clock tower here, and I'm expecting we'll see a bit more of that. Okay, let's have a look at this on the acoustimeter. Now the last time it was about 2.12 I think, and about 400, and you can see it's considerably higher now, 3.47 peak, and the average is getting up to about 1000 on that. I'll just give you a quick recap on the readings here. If you remember the 2 lines on it, the top line is the recommended maximum exposure by the Bioinitiative report and the Salzburg Convention, and the bottom line is the recommended outside maximum exposure. So considerably higher here. So let's move on now. There's another reason I'm actually going to come into town today, in this particular day, but I'll tell you a bit about that later on. So let's go and explore. So outside the Willow Tea Rooms again. Just give you a slightly better pan of that because I didn't cover it very much last time. Macintosh at the Willow, and next to that we have this BT stand. I suppose they're putting out Wi-Fi and so on. Now the levels the last time on the acoustimeter were quite high on this. It was about 2.76 or so. I'm getting 1.39 peak here, which actually is quite a bit lower than it was. So maybe this isn't working anymore, I guess. I don't know. Let's carry on. So we're back in Sackley Hall Street at the Gap site. And if you remember from last time, this is actually a BT building across the back there with the mast on top. I don't see any 5G small cells on there. It just looks like what we had the last time. I'll try and put a little comparison shots up in the corner of the screen here once I get down to editing this stuff. And if you haven't seen the last video, be sure to check it out. I'll make sure we put a link somewhere, either on the screen or in the comments below. And last time this was quite high here. I seem to remember it was like 5.8 or something. But looking at the acoustimeter now, if I can get this to show, what we've got there is about 1.89. So that's actually quite low. I mean, it's still borderline on the maximum level, but it's certainly not any worse than it was. And again, we've got one of these BT Wi-Fi things here, which I'm not sure if that's on or not. So just outside the concert hall here, last time when I measured it, the levels again were quite high. I think it was 3.89 on the peak. Here we're only getting 1.41. So I've been walking down the street here looking for more small cell transmitters. I haven't actually seen any until I got to this corner. Looking up here, this is used to be a British Rail building, I think. I'm not sure if it still is. And you can see that looks like a couple of small cell transmitters on top there. So that'll be 5G right there. 5G transmitters of course require they're usually more of a square configuration because they have so many transmitters in them so that they can do the beamforming. So here's St George's Tron Parish Church again. I stopped here last time. I'm a little off to the side here because the sun's right behind the tower. So I'm trying to get an angle where it will actually show up. And last time it was about 2.36 I think I measured here. And you don't know if you can see that, we'll turn around so we can light on it. 1.56 for a maximum reading on the screen here. So yeah, that's pretty well off the scale on this. So that's very high. Can't see any obvious signs of any transmitters anywhere, but looks like they're stashed somewhere, as I said, or probably inside the tower somewhere. Okay, so here's the real reason I wanted to come into town today. Glasgow city centre has been turned into 1969 New York for the filming of the new Indiana Jones movie, which is happening this weekend. Very exciting stuff, and does it look great? Let's give you a quick look here. It's just amazing the amount of work they put into these things. It's just fantastic. Can't wait to see the movie, huh? And everything. There's even a fake subway entrance somewhere which I haven't found yet. Anyway, while we're here, let's take a look at the meter readings. So 1.24. Not actually too bad here, it's about average. So Buchanan Street. Now this wasn't too bad last time. I actually thought it was going to be worse than it is. It's about the same here. Let's see that. Let's turn around a bit. 0.53 peak and about 104. So yeah, got a green light on the average and just an amber on the peak. Just going into the red there. Yeah, not too bad. So here we are at the Gallery of Modern Art again with the Duke of Wellington. I'm sporting one hat this time. And again, no obvious sign of any transmitters on the buildings that I can see. And the levels are about the same as they were. Last time it was about 2.8, now it's about 3.8 on the peak. And 2.5. Actually, yeah, no, this is probably a little bit higher than it was the last time. So, something going on here. But again, no sign of any obvious transmitters, unless they're concealed in the tower there. Here we see some of the group's equipment, some camera mounts, dollies and stuff. It's all very exciting. So the last time Glasgow, I think, was used for a feature film was World War Z with Brad Pitt, where they transformed George Square here into Philadelphia. So this time we're doubling as New York in 1969, on the return of the Apollo moon astronauts. Okay, so up back there is the People Make Glasgow building, which I started the last video with. And still looks the same there. I don't see any new transmitters on that mast. So the acoustic meter readings here in the middle of George Square. We have 1.12 on the peak and 0.83, 0.9 on the average roughly. Sorry, beg your pardon, 360 on the average. So that's where we are at the moment. Looking up at the city chambers here. I still don't see any evidence of any small cell 5G transmitters, so if there are any in the city centre here, they're very well hidden, is all I can say. I mean, it's definitely here, because there's a 5G service on from Vodafone and EE and the other phone companies. But just exactly where they're hiding the high frequency small cell transmitters remains a mystery. We'll keep watching. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and that will encourage me to do more. Thanks for watching. Bye now.